Hey YouTube, this is Project Wesco Magic here. I'm going to bring you a Minotaur deck that I just made today. Alright, let's start it off. First, with the lands, we have 6 swamps, and then we have 4 Temple of Malice. There's the Temple of Malice. Enters the battlefield tapped, just scry 1, add swamp or black or red to your mana pool. I have 3 Blood Crypt. It's a shockland from Return to Ravnica. It's as Blood Crypt enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, Blood Crypt enters the battlefield tapped. So it's just easier way to get some mana, the right mana you want. Alrighty, so let's go over the creatures. There are all but 5 creature spells in this deck. Let's start with the top 2. So we have Mogis, God of Slaughter. It's a 4-drop for a 7/5 indestructible. As long as your devotion to black and red is less than 7, Mogis isn't a creature. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Mogis deals 2 damage to that player unless he or she sacrifices a creature. So it's pretty much just get all of your opponent's creatures out of my way, or you take damage. And then from there we have 4 Kragma Warcallers. Minotaur creatures you control have haste. Whenever a Minotaur you control attacks, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And there's 4. It's a 4 of. This deck is more aggressive aggro type deck. It's a little, I don't know, more burn I'd say than anything, because I only splash black for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So yeah. Alright, let's go over the next ones. And for our next creature, we have Oracle of Bones. It's a haste. It's a 4-drop. Tribute of 2. When Oracle of the Bone enters the battlefield, if tribute wasn't paid, you may cast an instant sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. So that's just an annoying card to deal with. You either have to deal with a 5/3 haster, or you have to deal with me burning something for free or drawing cards for free. Just a bad day for any type of tempo decks. Alright, and that's a 2 of. And our next card is Fellhide Spiritbinder. It's a 4-drop for a 3/4. It's inspired. Whenever Fellhide Spiritbinder becomes untapped, you may pay 1 generic and 1 red. If you do, put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of another target creature, except it's an enchantment. In addition to its other types, it gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So that's pretty sweet. Okay, and that's a 2 of. And then for our next one, we have Boros Reckoner. It's a 3-drop, 3 white or red. Whenever Boros Reckoner is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target creature or player. And then you can pay 1 red or 1 white. Boros Reckoner gains first strike until end of turn. So that's a 4 of. I really like that card. I liked it right when I started playing Magic, was when Gatecrash came out, and I pulled 2 of those guys. And my brother pulled the foil one, so I traded him for that one. That was pretty cool. Our next creature is Kragma Butcher. It's a 3-drop for a 2/3, and it's inspired. Whenever Kragma Butcher becomes untapped, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So that's a 3-drop, so it's just more aggro to shove at your opponent and hopefully get more power on the board than they can deal with. And then our next one is Ragemonger. It's a 3-drop for 2/3. Minotaur spells you cast cost 1 black and 1 red less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. For example, blah blah blah. You know what I mean, Magic players. If you're new, I'd recommend you go over some rules a little bit more. Our next creature spot is Minotaur Skullcleaver. It's a 3-drop for a 2/2 haster. When Minotaur Skullcleaver enters the battlefield, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So it's just another annoying Minotaur creature that your opponent has to deal with. Next, we have a Lightning Strike for our first of the 5 non-creature spots in this deck. It's an instant, 2-drop for 3 damage to target creature or player, so that's pretty sweet. Alrighty, for our next one, we have Fall of the Hammer, a 2-drop. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. So, if I would get, say, this pumped up to 8 with its Inspired and its Warcaller, and I use Fall of the Hammer, I can Fall of the Hammer my own Boros Reckoner to deal that 8 damage to my opponent. So it's just a pretty cool way to deal some damage to some for some good aggro type style of play. Then we have 3 Read the Bones. It's a 3-drop, scry 2, then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. So it's, I don't know, it's just a better way to draw a card. I'm not gonna screw around with the Underworld connections in here just because it's just not the best card, especially since I have Oracle of the Bones. So if I play that and it doesn't really want to deal with the 5/3 haster, and I have Read the Bones, I'll play Read the Bones and draw 2 cards, or scry 2 and then draw 2. So it's just pretty much getting ahead of my opponent a little bit more. Pretty cool. Next one, we have Magma Jet. It's a 2-drop for an instant. Magma Jet deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and then you scry 2. I only run 2 of those, just because it's not the greatest, but the scrying effect helps me kind of a lot. So, yeah, and for our last one, we have Whip of Erebos. Creatures you control have lifelink. So, and pay 2 generic and 2 black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile at the beginning of your next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. So it's just another annoying card to deal with. I'm sure that people will run, so that Aether card or whatever, Unravel the Aether against it, because it's just so annoying, especially with this up-tempo deck like this. So just pretty much this deck is to wipe you out aggro style and gain a little life by doing it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Minotaur deck tech. Sorry about if the camera was a little shaky. This is my first deck tech on this channel. So yeah, if you like the deck, comment, rate, subscribe. If any questions, just send us a message or leave a comment. Thanks for watching, YouTube.